They'd come to travel with their families, and now they lay cowering in fear as a major European airport was transformed into a scene of horror and death. A suicide bomber turning Zaventem Airport's departure hall into a mass of smoke and ruin. And in the midst of the debris and the sounds of anguish and panic, police try to guide the injured and the traumatized out to escape with their lives. By now, this was no longer an airport in a European capital, but a chaotic battlefield. People described seeing blood everywhere. The only ones left were the dead, the severely injured, and those courageous enough to stay behind and try to help. With a second explosion having ripped through the terminal, blind fear spread amongst survivors who could only run in any direction they thought they could find safety.
Yes, I hear an explosion, big explosion inside the airport. Yes.
What did you see? What did you see?
Well,
Let's go.
I don't know.
I'm terribly distressed. I was traveling with my grandson for the first time. He was full of excitement, and suddenly we heard an explosion. We heard, in fact, 2 explosions. So where are we going to be safe in this world now? And I'm thinking especially of this little one. Imagine that something would have happened. We're all so fragile, aren't we?
I said to my colleague, we have to go, we can't stay here, I don't want to die today. And she said, no, I'm too scared, I stay. I said, no, we can't stay here because if they come downstairs, we're the only one here, they will kill us.
Slowly, the weary and traumatized, the wounded, still covered in blood, were taken away, and the dead were recovered, before more and more security was brought into the area. There's now a heavy security presence right around the airport. This terrorist attack was meticulous and cold-blooded in its planning and in its execution. But what's also clear is that those who carried it out knew their way around this area and where they'd be able to cause maximum death and destruction. 2 explosions ripped through the departure lounge at the main terminal building of Zaventem International Airport at 8 a.m. local time. Eyewitnesses say the first went off next to an excess baggage payment kiosk, and the second next to a Starbucks cafe. Belgian prosecutors say one of the blasts is likely to have been a suicide bomb. It's speculated that the other bomb was hidden in a suitcase. A suicide vest and Kalashnikov assault rifle were also reportedly found. Belgium had been on heightened alert for 4 days since the capture in Brussels of a key attacker in the Paris massacre last year. Yet despite this, Belgium's Prime Minister said today was a dark day because what they had feared most had happened. Across Brussels, at EU buildings and government offices, flags began flying at half-mast, and at the airport, hearses began taking away more bodies as they were recovered. As the shock of the day began to set in, the EU's Foreign Affairs Chief, Federica Mogherini, paying a visit to the Middle East to talk about the threat of IS, found herself overcome with emotion on hearing of the attack on the city she lives in and works. She could no longer carry on. And in Paris, President Hollande said all of Europe was now engaged in war with IS. Tonight, the focus of this country's pain and anguish is on this picture. The 3 suspected terrorists. The 2 on the left believed to have died in the attack, but the man on the right, in white, believed to still be at large. The hunt is on to find him. John Keith was due to catch a connecting flight home to the US, but the bombs went off just as he landed. Waiting to go home, he told me tonight of the horrors he'd seen.
There was a group of students, and he had been struck himself, and he had blood here, and a patch, and also here, and his girlfriend also was struck here, and one of their friends was struck in the head.
And so another grim milestone is reached. After Paris and Istanbul, now it's Brussels which has to be added to the growing list of European cities attacked by so-called Islamic State.